Hey, I'm Clayton Massey. I'm so glad you guys are here today. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you my story and how I went from a struggling beginner in 2019 to making my first million in real estate in just 3 years. I'm going to teach you my biggest secret, the exact process I use to talk with sellers, build trust, and close deals. In fact, I'm not only going to teach you, I'll give you my step-by-step process. I'm going to show you proof, real proof of real deals and how they happened. So a lot has changed since I started in 2019. I went from owning 0 houses to over 50 properties with no experience. But there's one thing that has not changed. The way I built my real estate business is the same way I built my ministry, by making genuine, authentic connections and building meaningful relationships with people. So that's what we're going to jump into. Now, I know you're probably sick and tired of people telling you how to beat the odds and become a millionaire. I get it, but I promise that my story is different. So before I give you the details about my system, let me tell you how I got here. Now, I'm from a small town in Kentucky. Maybe y'all have been to Paducah. We have a population of only 26,000. It's a place where time seems to stand still or slow down at least. Faith, family, freedom is the way of life. See, in my neck of the woods, everyone's got a story. Folks around here wear their work boots with pride. You know, farmers, mechanics, construction workers, you name it. And I've always been cut from a different cloth, raised on a sprawling farm in West Paducah. If there's one thing I carry with me, it's my grandpa's legacy as a founding pastor of High Point Pentecostal Church. And I'm still a member there today. And for over 33 years, I've dedicated myself to ministry, pouring my heart into folks of all ages. And I've been married to a beautiful wife of 30 years. We have 9 children, 3 grandchildren. So you can imagine our lives are pretty busy already. But here's the reality. In 2019, my journey as a minister had left my bank account, as always, wanting a little bit more. For my entire life, I've never made more than a humble $38,000. And that was my best year. Just imagine having 9 kids, plus all the living expenses, insurance, medical bills, new clothes for school, gifts for the holidays, you name it, all that struggle, trying to raise a family, a big family, on less than $38,000. Well, that's not easy. And many nights I'd lie awake wishing there was a better way. And now I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, a visionary, and always looking for new ways to support my family and stay in the ministry. Over the years, I've tried 27 different business ventures and with no real success. Some of them even failed. And maybe you've tried and failed a time or two also. Maybe you feel like, hey, you're 20 years old and it's too early, or maybe you're 50 and you feel like it's too late. Look, if that's the case, then you and I have a lot in common, okay? I never knew anything about real estate before I was 50. And just so you know, I've failed so many times again, I stopped counting at 27. I've tried my hand in owning a barbershop, a furniture thrift store, even a small fishing boat business. They all failed, never succeeded to a place where I felt comfortable supporting my family. In some of these, they failed so bad that it almost broke me and my family. Look, it doesn't get much worse than having the rug pulled out from under you and losing everything over and over again. But here's the deal. Whether you hate your job or you love your job, if you got the feeling deep down inside that you were meant to do something more with your life, and that something more requires money, well, listen to what I'm telling you now. Whatever it is you can imagine yourself doing, whether it's changing the world or traveling the world, both of these require money. I'm sorry if it's too direct, but it is what it is. And for you to make change, you need to be honest with yourself if you want to do more and have more. So why don't you have a real estate deal then? Why haven't you accomplished the goal that you're trying to accomplish in real estate? Why don't you have more money coming into your bank account? Why aren't you on the phone talking to sellers and getting those deals? Well, I'll tell you why. It's the reason that I had. It's the same elephant that's in the room that it is for all others. It's called fear. Fear of failure. fear of rejection, and for some people, it's even fear of success. Hey, I want you to know I understand what it is to be a hostage to fear. I'm going to show you how to conquer your fears. But while I can't guarantee you're going to make millions in the first year like I did, what I can guarantee is that everything I'm going to share with you today works. I'm here to introduce to you a revolutionary new program. I call it Confident Calling Plan, your fast track to real estate success. I designed this workshop for two groups of people. The first group, my fellow real estate investors out there, and maybe you've already done a few deals, but you're still struggling to pick up the phone and make those calls. The other group I created this program for is for those beginners who want to start a real estate business. Maybe you've signed up for a course or a mentorship and you got everything up and going, and maybe you hired a VA, a virtual assistant, to make those initial calls for you. And let's say you have a few leads coming in, but when you go to pick up the phone, you call them back, you start shaking in your boots. And so if you're any sort of a real estate investor whatsoever, you know how challenging those leads can be when you get someone on the phone. I guarantee that you've ran into a situation where you're in the middle of a conversation and they cut you off with something like, "Why should I care?" Or "Why would I want to do that?" And "How do I know I can trust you?" And suddenly you find yourself stumbling over the words and you don't know how to respond, and you can get paralyzed, just like many of the other people that try this. Do you find yourself frozen in fear of the unknown, fear of picking up the phone or making the actual call? Well, I promise you that you're not alone. Trust me, I've been there and done that. But fear not. I'm about to help you get on the right track. So if that's what you're challenged with in your business, this is going to be absolutely amazing couple of minutes. I'm going to go through and show you some of my top deals. I'll show you how I've used the Confident Calling system to achieve my real estate success. And it's all the same game. Whether you're a brand new investor or a seasoned pro, you're going to want to see how this works. So let's dive in, okay? These are addresses of houses most investors would never touch. In fact, some of these sellers had such big problems it seemed like nobody could help them. Some of them were on the brink of foreclosure, losing their house and wrecking their credit. But I was able to tap into my people skills as a minister to listen to their needs, offer solutions the right way, answer questions, and land the deal with a smile on everyone's face. Every one of the properties on this screen are houses I made a lot of money on. As you see, there are many different ways I buy and sell houses. But the reality is, you never buy a house without first talking to a seller and getting them to like you. That can be hard for some people, but it's like the old saying, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And this is no different in the real estate game. You will never get someone to sell their house without talking to them first. Now, in the past few years, I've done easily 50 deals, okay? So check out some of my favorites. Here's my first one, 74 Carriage Lane. Guys, I'm gonna go through this really quick. Now, feel free to pull these up online if you want. So, 74 Carriage Lane. Let me tell you a quick story. The sellers were a young married couple with a baby on the way, and then something crazy happened. A tornado rips through the neighborhood and destroys the roof, the windows, the house, the vinyl, the garage door. I mean, it was a real mess. Needless to say, they wanted to sell their house fast. They called me and I asked about their situation, listened to their needs, asked about the baby, told them about my family, and I answered their questions. Plus, I offered them some great win-win solutions. They ended up selling me the house for just $35,000. It was a big job. My contractor estimated another $115,000 on the repairs, so I got a loan for the repairs of Carriage Lane. As you can see, this tornado house looks brand new. And I was able to sell it for $305,000. So after my initial $35,000 and $115,000 in repairs, I was able to clear $155,000. To put that into perspective, that's 4 times what I used to make in an entire year. As you'll see in the next few moments, the profit potential on these deals can be astronomical. And it's all because of a simple phone call. Let's look at another one. This is a great story too. 1509 Wilford Street. This family suffered through a tragic fire, and thankfully they all made it out safely. Unfortunately, they had no insurance. The seller called me and I asked about their situation. What did they plan to do now? Where are they planning to go? Building rapport and trust with them. Then after listening to their entire situation, I was able to offer them cash up front, give them plenty of time to pack and move, and even provided for them labor and a moving truck. In the end, they were very happy to get a quick all-cash sale and have all their moving needs covered. Plus, I was happy when I found a rehabber that wanted to fix it up. So I wholesaled the contract, making a quick $62,000. Again, one phone call doubled my previous best salary in the year. It's crazy the possibilities when you know how to make a phone call. Okay, now let's look at this one. 1637 Harrison Street. The seller had recently moved from Arizona to Kentucky to be closer to family, but the humidity and the allergies were working against her. So, wanting drier climate, Ann decided to move back to Arizona, and she needed to act now. So she called me, and I made sure to ask her all about her situation. She invited me over, and when I showed up to her house, it was a surprise to me to discover that she'd already had a truck and a trailer and ready to move out that day. So we sat on the porch talking. I built good rapport with her and made sure to answer all of her questions, and I offered to take over her property as is, and she agreed to sign the contract right there on the front porch. The result, I used creative financing to take over the mortgage subject to the existing loan. And get this, she had over 20 years left on that loan. So I advertised her property online and found a rent-to-own buyer that paid me $17,000 non-refundable option deposit, which was rental agreement with the option to buy when they're ready. Since her monthly payment was so low, I was able to cash flow $350 a month, which adds up to $84,000 in potential profits over 20 years. In addition to that, I'll be collecting another $31,900 when the buyer cashes out. So that's a profit of $132,900. Again, that could have paid my salary as a minister 3.5 times more than my annual salary. Not bad for a 15-minute phone call. Isn't that amazing? But the main thing I want to teach you is that none of these, not a single one of these addresses here, Carriage Lane, Wilford Street, Harrison Street, not one of these deals could have ever happened without me picking up the phone. By simply listening to their situation, asking the right questions, and providing solutions, I was able to make double, triple, 4 times my salary with a simple phone call. Now let's pull this one up. This is pretty cool. 4530 Westchester Lane. This seller inherited this property once her parents passed away. However, there was one big problem. She was several months behind on the mortgage and couldn't afford to catch up. So the property was going into foreclosure. I made a point to listen to her needs, and I even repeated her answers back to her in a tone of questions so she would continue talking and giving me the information I needed. I offered to help her bring the payments current, get it out of foreclosure. This allowed her to walk away with cash in her pocket rather than losing thousands and damaging her credit. It was definitely a win-win. Me, I walked away with a potential $160,000 cash out. Again, that would have taken over 4 years as a minister in my previous salary. I can't think of any other strategy that can generate this much profit potential. Honestly, it's so empowering to be a person that gets on the phone with a seller and you're the only one that can help them solve their problems. You're the person, you're the pillar they can lean on and get out of whatever situation they find themselves in. You help them solve a problem when no one else can. It's empowering, it's fun, and it can be highly profitable. So you're probably watching this video because you want to know if it's really possible to land deals over the phone and maintain your integrity and actually make thousands of dollars while being a lifesaver to potential sellers. The answer is yes. Whether it's keeping them for a long-term cash flow yourself, or maybe you assign the contract as a wholesale deal without ever lifting a hammer, it's entirely possible to make a few phone calls and replace your entire salary. Like on this deal, 224 Cole Lane. This was a cool one because it included all 3 houses, 2 garages, 7 acres, and a pond that you see. The seller called me and I listened to all of their needs. Turned out the couple was divorced and wanted to quickly sell everything and just move on. So I offered to give them a small portion of cash up front. They accepted. The result, I walked away with a profit of $52,000. Again, one phone call paid more than my yearly salary as a minister. Now, of course, these are exceptional examples, but even a small fraction of gains like these could change your life, right? I want to teach you how to do this for yourself. Phone calls are the lifeblood of the business, and it's so fun to teach people how to do this and watch all the fears melt away. I want you to come into our community and learn how to do this for yourself. So here is one of my favorite deals of all time, where I turned an initial investment of $2,000 into $119,000 in just 2 deals. First, we have 2636 Jones Street. Now, the house on Jones Street had a very motivated seller. I got a phone call from them, and this property was in terrible condition. The seller could not afford to make any repairs, and on top of that, the property had a $7,000 tax lien. So I offered to purchase the house for $2,000 and pay for the tax lien. Then I turned around and I sold it for $32,000, profiting $25,000. A few weeks later, I found this property at 1115 Burnett Street. The seller had inherited the property and was very motivated. The house was full of their deceased parents' belongings, and they wanted a quick sale. So I offered them $25,000 I still had from the other deal. I did some cosmetic repair and quickly sold it for $119,000. Turning a $2,000 initial investment into $119,000 in cash. Imagine investing $2,000 and then cashing out with $119,000 in just a few months. Now, that's a total profit of $117,000 with 2 simple phone calls. Now, before I go any further, let me address a common belief among Christians that being rich is a bad thing. And I struggled with that too. I used to think that maybe God wants some people to be rich and others to be poor. And that's just His will. Can I do this and make an honest living? How can a minister make wealth in real estate? Will massive amounts of wealth affect my influence as a trusted minister? Can I do this and not take advantage of people? These were real struggles to me, but obviously I had a wrong mindset. After helping a few sellers through dire situations, I realized I was actually helping people, not taking advantage of them. And over the past couple of years, I've been able to give more than I ever have. In fact, I've recently been able to give $10,000 to a youth camp. I pledged another $10,000 to a church to fix their air conditioner system. I gave a $1,000 check to a church to buy a new piano. Without real estate, I would have never been able to help other ministries like this. So look, I'm not saying I'm a minister and a millionaire to show off. I'm showing you this so you can show up. I'm telling you right now, this plan, this information, these strategies and tips, this is your absolute fastest plan to building a highly profitable real estate business, starting with yourself. And it's entirely up to you what you do with this information. And it's entirely up to me to deliver it to you. My purpose is to share with you what I've created in my own life and to share that with other people. Because after many years struggling, I had a life-changing breakthrough, And now my wife is taken care of, our kids are fine, and our 3 grandchildren will be fine. We're talking about generational wealth here, folks. For those of you who are open-minded, willing to do the work, this can change your life. And look, it doesn't matter who you are, by the way. It doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter what your job is right now. What matters is, hey, are you committed to learning how to be a successful real estate investor? Maybe you're like me. You probably never think you'll have 6 figures in the bank. And honestly, 6 figures is probably not enough to retire these days, especially with inflation on the rise. And that's without all the inevitable expenses. What about all the times you'll go out to eat or take your family on a vacation? What if, God forbid, someone gets sick? Or one of your kids want to go to an expensive college? You'll barely squeak by and you won't be happy. Oh, by the way, if there's a 2008 disaster type event, forget about retirement. You might be working for the rest of your life. And if that sounds like you, then you need a better, faster way to wealth, to get on your feet and on solid ground. Here's the great news. I just showed you how 6 deals made me $678,900, and keep in mind, I've done over 50 deals, so we're just scratching the surface here. Carriage Lane, $155,000. Wilford Street, $62,000. Harrison Street, $132,900. Westchester Lane, $160,000. Cole Lane, $52,000. And Jones Burnett, $117,000. That turns out total profits to be $678,900. Hey, I can show anyone how you can make way larger potential profits than you're probably making right now. And it couldn't be easier to learn and implement my strategies. Simply pick up the phone, ask the right questions, answer their questions, offer solutions, and close the deal. So are you ready to get on track to controlling your own financial destiny? Let's get down to business. Hey, I have an important announcement to make. Today, I only gave you a sneak peek under the hood of Confident Calling System. The goal was to show you how I've been making simple phone calls to close over 50 deals, and I barely scratched the surface with the Confident Calling System I've used to become a millionaire in just 3 years. I've been keeping these strategies to myself, personally buying houses, using my easy-to-follow scripts in relationship building and growing more wealthier than I ever thought possible. Now I'm going to completely pull back the curtain. I'm looking for a new class of students who want to be part of what I'm calling Confident Calling, Fast Track to Real Estate Success. This is so exciting, and it's a lot to take in. So let's go through this point by point. Say you want to be one of my students. You want to join my Confident Calling System. So what happens next? Here's a few key benefits that you're going to receive. Benefit number 1, I'm going to coach you personally. Your main benefit is a live monthly Zoom call where I reveal my latest new real estate strategies, secrets, and techniques. Every second Tuesday of the month at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll give you a quick update of what strategies are working in the current real estate market and a heads up on the new strategies I believe we should be implementing now. There's even a live chat so you can ask any questions and network with others on the call in real time. And don't worry, if you miss a day or two, we record all the sessions. So you can certainly watch those anytime and communicate with us in whatever way is convenient for you. Now, when I map these trainings out, I begin with the assumption that everyone's a beginner. That way, everybody can get the most out of this community. So when you join the Confident Calling community, you'll receive benefit 2. I'll help you hit the ground running with my Fast Track video series. This is a simple to follow 4-part video series. Each video is a step-by-step walkthrough. I'll quickly take you through building rapport, how to sell yourself by creating a powerful bio, my full open to close call flow scripts, negotiation techniques, and more. With phone calls specifically, I'll teach you the terms and lingo you need to know with sellers. I'll teach you the art of building strong, lasting relationships with potential sellers and buyers. And if you've never called a seller before, don't worry, I'll cover all the basics. You can just follow along with me, no guesswork. You'll see it's very easy to learn and implement. Most importantly, I'm going to lay out the plan for helping you overcome your fears. I will show you how to handle rejection gracefully and turn it into an opportunity. You'll build resilience and understand that every no can bring you closer to the sought after yes. You're not going to be on your own anymore. And then there's benefit number 3. I'll give you everything you need to know when talking to sellers. Now, I'm officially launching Confident Calling Fast Track to Real Estate Success, and I'm determined to do it the right way. That means giving you all the tools and resources you need to be a master phone caller. Immediately after you join, I'm going to send you my full scripts along with the objections and rebuttals. This is the kind of stuff I've never talked about publicly, but you can get everything free when you become a founding member today. Best of all, they're yours to keep, no matter what you decide to do later. And in my professional opinion, we have the best and most effective scripts you'll ever see. Remember, I do all the hard work behind the scenes. You just have to show up and take advantage of all these amazing resources. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Following this approach over the course of the next year could be a generational wealth building opportunity for you and your family. We're offering you the opportunity to cut the learning curve and start buying houses like a pro. Now, I do need to clarify one point. Entrance isn't guaranteed. Here's a crucial part, so please listen carefully. Only 250 new investors can be allowed into the Confident Calling community today. Why only 250? Well, I want to maximize the potential benefits for each member. So you'll have the best opportunity to get in at the best price. For too many people to rush in today, I won't have time to give them all the personal attention they need. I don't want that to happen. And the best way to ensure that is by limiting the number of new members allowed in today. So you need to act fast. If you do get in, I promise I'll do everything in my power to help you get up and running. Talking to sellers with confidence as soon as possible. Hold on, there's more. When you respond today as an extra incentive, I will rush you my brand new real estate comic book, My Journey from Beginner to Real Estate Tycoon. Hot off the presses. This is a one-of-a-kind comic book that takes you on the journey with my good friend and mentor, Ron LeGrand, better known as the godfather of real estate. This story explains how Ron went from a broke mechanic to buying over 3,000 properties and coaching over 500,000 students worldwide. Like I said, it's super valuable. Important, this special comic book is free to all new members, but is not available yet to the wider public. Best of all, it's yours to keep no matter what you decide to do later. Look, this is extremely valuable information. Serious real estate investors would be happy to pay thousands to access my secret to becoming a millionaire. But I didn't create my Confident Calling Fast Track to Real Estate to help the rich get richer. Nothing would make me happier than to have you, the little guy investor, contact me in a month or two and tell me your dreams are being realized. To say you've gone from being a cautious, fearful investor to being a master on the phone and closing deals. all thanks to my Confident Calling system that you didn't even know existed before. Your entrance fee to gain access to Confident Calling Fast Track to Real Estate Success seems like chump change compared to all the value I'm giving you today. With my Confident Calling Fast Track system, you'll have access to my live Zoom training calls on the second Tuesday of each month, giving you VIP access to 12 sessions over the next year. Total value, $997.50. Summary videos in case you miss a live session. 12 months access, total value, $497.50. My 4-part Getting Started video series, 12-month access, total value, $797.50. PDF downloads of my top scripts and rebuttals, 12-month access, total value, $297.50. And let's not forget your free Ron LeGrand comic book called My Journey from Beginner to Real Estate Tycoon. Plus, you'll have instant free access to any new comic real estate training manual we'll release in the future. Real estate comic book series total $397.50. Total value, introductory package, $2,987.50. You get it all for only $89 today. That's if you're lucky enough to grab one of the 250 seats available today, of course. You save $2,898 on 1 year when you become a founding member of Confident Calling Community for just $89 a year. That's an astounding 97% discount off what other members will pay. Needless to say, at this heavily discounted founders rate, your very first successful real estate deal could easily pay for your membership many times over. But please be aware, you must act now. Once we hit today's quota of 250 new members, I may be forced to close Confident Calling Fast Track system to new members until further notice. Look, I know the evidence is astounding. I've shown you in just a few minutes how I bought 6 deals and profited a massive $678,900. Not to mention my other 44 deals that have made me a successful millionaire in just a few years. And the trial price is extremely low, but I'm going to make it a no-brainer for you to take action right now. You don't even have to make up your mind today. Simply agree to try Confident Calling Fast Track to Real Estate Success today, and you'll get my 100% satisfaction guarantee if you're not absolutely thrilled and far better off at any time over the next 90 days. That's right. I want to make sure you're 100% satisfied with our training and resources, and this is my way of saying thank you for trying it. If you're not happy with the results, all you have to do is call my friendly customer service team and you can be refunded your full subscription price. No questions asked. Of course, it's highly unlikely you'll ever want to cancel. With a brand new Confident Calling live Zoom training call on the second Tuesday of each month, and each one featuring a high-powered real estate investing strategy, that's a lot of potential money in real estate deals coming your way. And today, you can lock in a 1-year membership for only $89. That's a real steal. The way I see it, you have 2 choices. Either keep doing what you're doing and hope to someday learn how to get wealthy like I did for so long alone, or you can take action and join me in Confident Calling Fast Track to Real Estate Success and get the opportunity of a lifetime. I'm going to be by your side to answer any questions along the way, but please be aware, you must act now. Once we hit today's quota of 250 new members, this offer comes down for good. So are you with me? The clock is ticking. I don't want you to miss out, so I urge you to click the button below. Okay, time to talk is over. Now it's time for action. This is Clayton Massey signing out. The next time I talk to you, I hope that you're with me on the fast track to real estate success. See you on the inside to your wealth. God bless and success.